Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to use Google Calendar. Okay, I'm going to forward this out here a little bit so I have a blank space to work with. And you're going to go into calendar.google.com. If you want to create a calendar, like let's say you're working at a school and you want to, you're on a committee, okay? Let's say social committee, all right? And you want to have a calendar just for social committee. You would go under My Calendar and create a new calendar, and you would label it social committee. Okay. You could put in a description all events this year. And then you could share the calendar with others. You could, if you want to share it with specific people, enter their email addresses here, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and create the calendar. Okay. So now I've got the calendar up here. And there it is, social committee. Okay. So now within this calendar, if you want to create an event on the calendar, if you want to change the notifications, whatever, here you do this. Okay, so I'm going to go into social committee calendar. And what I'm going to do is create an event. So let's say tomorrow or on 6/1, I want to put in here, I want to have breakfast from 7 to 8 a.m. And I want to have it at Farmer Boys. And see, it gives addresses. Pretty cool if I wanted to add that. If I wanted to add an attachment, if I want to remind myself 15 minutes before, if I also want to remind myself a day before, I would put that there. And if I wanted to email and invite a friend, that's where you would do that. Okay. So that's where my breakfast notification is. Now, if I want to add a task, if you go down here under your calendars, you will see tasks. So when I click on this, here comes a handy little task menu. Okay. So I'm going to go here, click this enter, and here's notes I can add. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to go back to tasks. And then, oh, sorry, I'm going to go down here to add tasks. Okay, so I'm going to say, bring lunch, or let me see, bring CD to breakfast. Okay, so I'm going to bring a CD with me to breakfast right here. Okay, so I'm going to put this arrow here and due date, and I'm going to put it on 6/1. Okay, 6/1, because I want to remember to bring it with me when I go right here. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and now that's ready to go. So now I'm going to go back to list, and now I put a task with a date reminder, and that's how you get to your tasks. Okay, so now if I want to get rid of the tasks, I just click out of there. If you want to see them again, you click back in, and then they'll come back up. Okay, and then if you want to add a task, if you want to delete a task, if you want to go into actions, you can move them up, move them down, print a task list, you complete a task, sort by due date, clear them, whatever you need to do here. But again, if you want to add a task here, you're going to go down, click on tasks here, plus add a task, collect seashells, whatever you need to do. And if you need to add it to your calendar or invite someone or do something different, hit the arrow. You can put a due date here. If you needed to email someone, you could say, email George Lopez at valverde.edu. Okay, and then I want to remember to do that on June 2nd. And now I'm going to, it's right there here. Okay. So now if I go here, if I go back to my tasks and I see them and I click on this, there's my reminder to email George Lopez. Okay. So I hope that made a little bit of sense.